Welcome to the siesta session. I will take advantage of our absolutely wonderful translator and not subject you to my Spanish, which is de verdad malo. So I'd like to tell you just a little bit about TechSoup, but very little, because if anyone is interested in learning more, just give me your business card, and we have a one-pager that will allow you to follow your nose, so to speak, and discover what parts of our organization are of interest to you. We began in 1987, utilizing the power of the World Wide Web. Oh, wait, there was no World Wide Web. What we were trying to do in 1987 was to connect individual technologists who had interest in social causes with nonprofits in the United States. And the idea that drove me to start the organization was that even though these two communities did not have that much interaction, they had very much the same values. And it seemed to me that if we could find a way to put them in contact with each other, great things could happen. As time went on, this little thing called the web came into being, which made a lot of other things possible, and we actually changed our activities. We've always been very flexible, and the single major program we run now is to administer and facilitate product donations, as was previously mentioned, and we work with 47 donor organizations, 35 partners in 35 countries, actually 35 partners in 32 countries. In some countries we have more than one partner, and that increasingly will be, I think, a trend we will follow. We have 200 staff in 3 offices in San Francisco, London, and Warsaw. We are at a point of inflection as an organization. We increasingly think of ourselves as a capabilities platform. There's certain things in the world we can do as a network, that is, as an organization, and also as the managing partner, so to speak, of a network. So in addition to offices and the infrastructure that allows, and our partner organizations and the IT companies that we've developed long partnerships with Microsoft certainly being the foremost among them, we also have compiled an enormous amount of content on our site TechSoup that is widely relevant, and we're eager to see it used. It's all under Creative Commons licensing. We do a great deal of work with what we call community-driven innovation. And by that we mean sort of the original idea of Compumenter, which is to look at the connection between technology activists and social activists and figure out ways to bring those communities into contact with each other and invite them to innovate together. And we also increasingly work in the field that we call data services, by which we mean figuring out ways to make civil society, not just NGOs, visible to funders, visible to each other, and visible to the public. We've merged with an organization called GuideStar International, and we have other programs to accumulate this data and make it publicly visible. So that's a very brief overview of TechSoup. Again, if you want to know more, please just give me your business card, and you'll get more than you want. Let me talk about this panel. It's, in a sense, the title of this panel, Technology for Local Empowerment, it's the title for the whole conference, right? That's what we do. That's what Telecentres do. They're local, and they use technology to empower. So I was trying to think, what is distinctive about this panel? What framework should we try to use to make this panel compelling? And the thought that occurred to me is that when we think about technology, we tend to think in global terms. So we talk about the World Wide Web. We talk about social media spanning the globe, and Facebook, and so forth, and Twitter being global phenomena. And we talk about the cloud, and the whole purpose, of course, of the cloud, or the functionality of the cloud, I should say, is to make applications available from anywhere. So again, a very global phenomenon. And so what I would like to invite our distinguished panel to address, and I should say even right away that if they don't address this, it's okay, because I just asked them to do so yesterday, and perhaps their remarks were already prepared. But I'm going to ask them to try to make a linkage between what they are doing on the ground where they are and what are the global aspects of technology that can be utilized to make that local work more effective. And I want to give one example from our own experience of how that has happened. So our original model for our network was basically what you might call a hub-spoke model. So we were in the center, and we'd go to a country where we had been green-lighted, so to speak, by a donor company and usually Microsoft, and sometimes Cisco and Microsoft together, to start operations, and we'd find a partner, and we'd present them with a proposition that involves shared revenue and so forth, and we would sign up partners one by one, and they would relate through the hub to each other rather than directly to each other. And over time, what we discovered was that we were missing a tremendous opportunity by operating in that way. That in fact, the global phenomenon that is really applicable to our network is partially about technology and partially about the tools that are now available to communicate across borders. But in my view, it's even more about a change in the spirit of the times. I think there is a tremendous current of collaboration, of desire to interact across borders, to be global. And obviously it doesn't affect everyone on Earth, but it's noticeable. And if you think of that phenomenon as something to be taken advantage of, a whole range of possibilities become open. If, for example, if we trust our partners to not necessarily go through us, but to connect with each other and then let us know what help they need, or let each other know what help they need, all of a sudden, or so it seems that it happens suddenly, things take off. There are possibilities we could never engineer that can happen if you are aware of what's happening on a global level and apply it to your local work. So with that, I will end my remarks and introduce our first speaker. We'll follow a little bit of different format here. We're going to ask Lorenzi de Sacia, the general manager for Chile of Intel, to speak first and describe a really interesting program that Intel has developed and is in operation in various countries. And then we'll ask the other speakers to comment on Mr. de Sacia's presentation, and also to relate the theme of the panel to their own work. So without further delay, Lorenzi.